Thank you very much, Pat, and I so appreciate the opportunity to be with you all here today. I'm very excited to be with you all here today. And before I get started on my remarks, so as not to take away from my time on my remarks, I do want to acknowledge so many people that have joined us here today, starting first with our elected body, our commissioners, who I have the honor and privilege of serving with each and every day. Commissioners Mendez, Holland, Barnes, Ellison, Kane, Murguia, Maddox, McKiernan, and Markley. I want to acknowledge all of their presence here today and appreciate their active engagement in our community. We've been through a long, actually, I think, my sense of it is, this governing body has spent more time together thinking about and working on our future than perhaps ever before as we're embarking on a strategic planning effort that has been now ongoing for several months. We have a lot of other elected officials here, and I want to mention a few of them by name because of their direct connection to the unified government. Sheriff Don Ash is here, our District Attorney Jerome Gorman, Register of Deeds Nancy Burns. I appreciate all of your presence here today. Members of the Board of Public Utilities are here today. Several of our school district elected officials are here, and some of our members of our community college board as well. And as Pat mentioned, my wife Amy is here today, and I'm appreciative of that. Staff on in my office are here today as well. John Yurchek, Pam Curtis, Alfonso Zarate, and Gwendolyn Thomas. They get to put up with me when I'm putting this speech together, and I appreciate them being here. Our County Administrator, Dennis Hayes, and many of our senior staff are here today from our departments, as well as many that have worked so hard to help me put things together. And last but not least, my two sons, Jack and Connor, are here. You've heard me talk about them before. And it would not be an exaggeration to say they have had to suffer with me as I prepare these State of the Government speeches over the last 7 years. Now, a year ago, I made Jack actually suffer through me reading over the speech to him. And he offered some criticism like, cut it down. When he found out how long it was today, he gave me that look. You know, he's 11, he has the look now. And he gave me that look. But I thought they've suffered through this so often, perhaps I could relieve them from their school duties today, and they could actually see what it's like for the speech to be delivered, and then they could offer the ultimate critique later. So I'm glad they're here today as well. You know, and we have some other special guests, and I'll get to them later in the speech. Our past year has been marked with a number of significant and historic accomplishments, coupled with the challenges of the recession. What rests at the heart of our efforts forward is our community's willingness to overcome any obstacle or adversity put before us. Roll up our sleeves, standing side by side, and believing that together we can make Wyandotte County a better place to live, a better place to work, a better place to learn, a better place to play, and a better place to raise our children. In the past, when hard times hit the Midwest, KCK and Wyandotte County lagged in recovery when the economy improved. But today, our community is fundamentally stronger. And I believe that through our efforts, our community is prepared and poised to achieve even greater accomplishments as our nation begins to shake off the weight of this recession. So I'm proud to report to you on the state of this unified government being strong, and that our community is poised to continue our progress and ready to rise to our new challenges. Importantly, this unified government and community have succeeded when we've worked together, sought out positive partnerships, stayed focused on the results, and put petty differences beside. So first, a look back. In 2011, Associated Wholesale Grocers announced the building of their corporate headquarters in KCK. Sara Lee Corporation invested $130 million in a state-of-the-art sliced meat deli meat processing facility, creating 250 new jobs in our community. General Motors launched a $130 million investment in the Fairfax plant to build the next generation Malibu. And Sporting Kansas City opened the spectacular Livestrong Park that we have up on the screen right now. Indeed, we have made significant gains in economic development. But this development truly benefits us when it equates to real opportunities for our citizens by growing hundreds of jobs, increasing our tax base, and improving our lives. Despite the recession, Wyandotte County finished 2010 with a record-breaking amount of commercial construction activity, more than $250 million. That historic growth was reflected not just in Village West, but throughout the entire city, and it ranged from entertainment venues to manufacturing plants to healthcare facilities to renewed grocery stores in several neighborhoods and retail opportunities for our citizens to shop in their own community. This growth continued in 2011 when we were able to generate more than $158 million in commercial construction activity, enough to outpace every other year since the opening of the GM Fairfax plant in the 1980s. As I noted, much of the development going on in 2011 and into 2012 is occurring outside of Village West. For example, 2011 saw the beginning of the largest urban redevelopment project in the history of our city. 39th and Rainbow, across from KU Med, is a $45 million project that includes a mix of retail, restaurant, and office space, and a hotel as well. It is transforming Rainbow Boulevard and perfectly complements the Rosedale neighborhood and the nearly 15,000 people that visit KU every day. 2011 also marked the opening of KU's clinical office building, a $73 million investment. And under construction now is an expansion of the Heart Hospital building, where an additional 3 floors of the hospital should be completed later this year. The project is another $50 million investment in the hospital campus. 2011 and 2012 also marks a period when we are seeing a revival in the kind of neighborhood retail that supports communities. It is an area that I have been focused on, and we are now seeing the results. To start, in 2011, we saw the opening of what I think is one of the finest CVS retail stores in the metro area, and this is at 47th and Rainbow in Rosedale. And this is 7th and Nebraska, where a new high-quality Family Dollar store will serve our downtown community, removing blight and rebuilding the neighborhood. Dollar General stores have also opened in Argentine and on Leavenworth Road, and under construction today is another Dollar General at 27th and Quindaro Boulevard. It is our hope that this store, as well as the others, will act as a cornerstone of further urban revitalization. 2012 will also mark our first entry into the warehouse club market. For far too long, residents of our city and county have had to travel far outside of our boundaries to access this kind of retail. Later this year, a new Sam's Club will open at Plaza at the Speedway in that shopping district, fulfilling this need. In a short amount of time, we have developed a strong track record in grocery store revitalization in Kansas City, Kansas, starting with the opening of our first new grocery store in 30 years at the Sunfresh at 18th and I-70. In the over 2 years that store has been open, it has been a solid success, bringing quality grocery, fresh fruit, and vegetables to the core part of our city. Since the Sunfresh grocery opening, we have reopened and revitalized 3 other grocery stores: Happy Foods North on 55th and Leavenworth Road, and most recently, in 2011, the new Sunfresh store in Turner on Shawnee Drive. The Turner Sunfresh was an expansion of an existing Apple Market store. The expansion more than doubled the amount of fresh fruit and vegetables available in that neighborhood and was a major quality upgrade to the store and shopping center. And finally, we saw a Save-A-Lot grocery store open at Westfield Center at 82nd and State Avenue, bringing groceries back to the center and to the neighborhoods that surround it. And we are not finished. On the drawing board is a new grocery store in the Argentine neighborhood, and I'm excited to report a project today to build a brand new 70,000 square foot Price Chopper at 78th and State Avenue, nearly double the size of the existing store. The renewed Wyandotte Plaza Center and new Price Chopper, a project in excess of $24 million, will enhance the needed services of our residents and solidify a high quality of life for the neighborhoods that surround it. We will be considering the details of that project soon. We are also working hard on plans to bring a new grocery store to our downtown area to support the neighborhoods in and around downtown. Because focusing, thank you, gives me a chance to take a drink of water. Thank you. Because focusing on bringing high-quality, essential services to all parts of our community is a cornerstone of our strategy of enhancing neighborhood life. And we are taking action. Going forward, we are setting in place the agenda to spur impactful urban redevelopment. Just a few weeks ago, we retooled our unified government policies concerning tax benefits for businesses to more fully support small business and entrepreneurs looking to expand. With these recent changes, a special development program is now available to bring new or renewed grocery stores to our urban core and commercial corridors of our city. This new approach provides enhanced incentives for longer periods of time for grocery businesses to locate new stores or remodel existing ones. It is ready to launch now, and we look forward to announcing more new projects soon. This commitment is critical to strengthening neighborhood life, increasing access to healthy foods, and spurring new residential development. The retooling of this program is also critical to our long-term economic success, as it allows small business, the backbone of our community, to expand as we emerge from this recession. Many exist in our industrial parks and have been stalwarts of job creation and productivity for years. Take, for instance, Central Solutions. They are here today, showcasing some of their products. This family business has been in the Fairfax district of KCK for over 50 years. They employ 59 people at their plant, and over half of them are from Wyandotte County. Central Solutions, you already know if you were in the back of the room, produces skin care products for major suppliers of hospitals and doctors' offices throughout the U.S. Next time you visit a hospital or doctor's office and you use some hand sanitizer, there's a chance it was made right here in our hometown. In order to grow and sustain our community, our programs must support small businesses like Central Solutions, who work to succeed in a highly competitive environment each and every day. Another example of our partnership with small business is an effort to expand auto dealerships in the city. We are working with Legends Toyota on an expansion project at I-435 and Parallel Parkway. Through this effort, 2 new auto dealerships will be coming to KCK right next to the Toyota dealership, bringing new jobs and additional sales tax revenue. But perhaps the most significant project of the year is the opening of the Hollywood Casino. While this occurred just about a month ago, the activity leading up to the opening has been impressive. Over 1,700 construction workers were on site over the course of construction, providing valuable work at the most critical of times. Not only that, but thanks to our clear policy directives, Wyandotte County businesses, women-owned businesses, and minority-owned businesses were a part of this over $200 million construction project, in total accounting for more than $60 million of the work performed, exceeding all goals. Prevailing wage was also paid on the construction of the casino as well. Our policies and partnership ensured that when this project came to KCK, that construction workers and our entire business community had a chance to see real benefits. The opening of the casino also was one of the single largest job-creating activities in the history of the city. Over 1,000 new jobs have been created at the casino. As of today, Wyandotte County residents account for nearly a third of all employees. These jobs come at a critical time for our citizens, and they provide real benefits to workers. If you've been in the casino, in fact, I'll ask you, how many of you have been to the casino? Several of you. That's a good thing. If you have been to the casino, you know it's a market leader in terms of quality and entertainment. The dining venues are fantastic, and the integration of the casino with the Kansas Speedway is truly unique and innovative. And more jobs will be created in the coming years as a 250-room hotel is planned to be constructed on the site. You may have read that the casino is generating record amounts of revenue. In its first week of operation, Hollywood Casino netted gaming revenue of nearly $7 million. This revenue means significant benefits for our local governments. And it must mean a clear commitment from our governing body that our citizens will benefit from this opportunity. In fact, our community has fought for nearly 15 years to have this gaming opportunity come to Wyandotte County. And we believed that bringing gaming to Wyandotte County would not just create a fantastic entertainment venue, but would also provide a tax benefit to our citizens. Well, today, even in the midst of challenging economic times, it is time for the UG to get back to work, get back on track, and move forward with our long-term strategy to lower property taxes. We developed a consistent track record before the economic collapse, reducing our mill levy rate by over 26% since consolidation. Even after the recession hit, our moves in increasing the mill levy to account for drastic valuation losses resulted in most of our taxpayers still paying less to the UG in property tax today than in 2007. But the fact remains that casino revenue should mean a lessening of property taxes for our homeowners over time. I commit to you today that I will support a budget that holds the line on property taxes next year and develops a plan for long-term property tax reduction that our citizens deserve. It should be the first commitment we make concerning casino tax dollars paid to the UG, and I encourage others to follow this lead. But opportunities for community benefit from casino revenue are not limited to just the tax dollars we receive. Through the hard work of the UG Commission and staff, our casino selection process furthered community commitments that were made by our partners at Hollywood Casino. Our agreement with the casino means an additional 1% of gaming revenue will be paid to the UG each year to be used for community benefit. Further, the casino will make available $500,000 each year to fund Wyandotte County social services and charitable community activities. Some of these funds will become available in 2013. But we must start now to determine the vision for these funds and the distribution process. It is my hope that we devote the additional 1% of revenue to improving the health of children, seniors, and young persons in our community. As you may be aware, Wyandotte County ranks poorly statewide in health outcomes. But we are on a path to changing this by forming the Healthy Communities Wyandotte Initiative. Long-term commitments will have to be made to effect change. And that starts, I believe, with enhancing our community through a new health and wellness center in our urban core that would provide our young people, families, and senior citizens a first-class place to gather, exercise, learn how to swim, learn about healthy eating and lifestyles, and do things like simply be able to walk indoors during the winter. We should begin working now with strategic partners like the YMCA who can help us execute the plan so that we are able to begin construction of the center as early as 2013. Such a move would be in alignment with our governing body's strategic goals and further supports our Healthy Communities Wyandotte initiative, which has quickly turned into a collaborative of service providers, healthcare institutions, and neighborhood leaders devoted to improving the health of our residents. It would be a tangible community benefit paid for in part by the community contribution dollars from the casino. You know, Healthy Communities Wyandotte has completed a comprehensive strategy to address our community health, and I asked them to work with me to fully engage our citizens and all of our elected officials in developing a plan that supports health outcomes with the community dollars made available from the casino. Our Healthy Community Initiative has also allowed the UG to move forward in more dynamic ways to support community priorities. Last year, we passed a Complete Streets Ordinance that focuses our efforts on street improvements that can also improve our health and support neighborhoods. As a result, we are finalizing, a sidewalk master plan for all of Kansas City, Kansas, a guiding document that will allow the Commission to strategically invest in the kind of infrastructure that supports healthy living for our citizens and enhances neighborhood life. And we have fully engaged in the Safe Routes to School program, installing new sidewalks around 5 school sites to make it safe for children in the neighborhood to get to school. This is one at M.E. Pearson, but we also are installing sidewalks at Banneker, Quindaro, Douglas, and Grant elementaries. We have identified several more schools for the program, and I believe we should continue and expand this program. The 3A cents public safety and infrastructure sales tax has helped the UG keep some of these projects on track. In fact, the Commission recently approved a policy change that will focus these infrastructure dollars toward neighborhood projects like new sidewalks and curbs. We have also made real commitments to bikes and trails by moving forward with our bike trail plan on Merriam Lane. And we have continued key infrastructure commitments even in these tight economic times. Within the past year, we have completed infrastructure projects in nearly every corner of our community. We just completed, for instance, a new 78th Street from I-70 to State Avenue, a $6.8 million project. We also recently cut the ribbon on a new stretch of Parallel Parkway from 5th to 10th, a $4 million project. Complete street construction also was made to Donahue from K7 to 115th Street, and the list truly goes on. 2012 will continue our sustained effort at job creation as the Cerner West Campus project just broke ground. This 600,000 square foot office development will feature 2 9-story corporate office towers at the corner of I-435 and State Avenue. It will be the largest privately owned office building in the city. Most importantly, upon its completion, 4,000 new jobs, paying an average of $54,000 a year, will be created, providing real opportunities for our citizens to find employment and the opportunity to have new residents move to the county close to their job. The project at its completion will make Cerner the top private employer in Kansas City, Kansas, and will mark one of the largest single job creation activities in the history of our community. Cerner is becoming a true corporate partner in Kansas City, Kansas as well. Cerner associates are here with us today. You saw them in the back of the room, helping us understand the critical work that they do in electronic medical records and how that work translates into better health care. Further, they have reached out into the community with the KC Slim Down program last year. The UG and my office was among numerous organizations throughout the metro that participated in a fun way to lose some weight and get healthy. They also have created an internship program called Cerner Scholars, where seniors from high schools get real-world experience at Cerner. We have our Wyandotte County Cerner Scholars here today, and I'm going to ask them to stand right now, and we need to give them a round of applause. These young men and women are doing a great job. They're from Washington and Schlegel High Schools. One powerful way that businesses and the UG can support our educational system and students is to give them those real-world experiences that relate to their academics. So one of the goals I set out last year at my speech was for the UG to initiate an internship program for our own students. I am proud to report the results today. Beginning last year, our Public Information Office brought on 2 interns to help with the dissemination of information to our citizens. They've even helped me with some of my remarks. And this semester, our internship program has been expanded to 5 additional departments. And our UG interns are here with us today, and now I'm going to ask them to stand, and let's recognize them with a round of applause as well. I'm so glad all of these students could be with us here at the lunch today. And our interns at the UG are from Harmon and Wyandotte High Schools, and they're really great examples, all of them, of the fantastic students in our school system, and they're just doing a great job at the UG. I can attest to that. Thanks to the collaborative efforts of Cerner, the KCK Chamber, and our school districts and colleges, this internship program will continue to expand so that as jobs are created in KCK, our students will gain real-world experience and be prepared to land those positions. You know, we face a challenge many communities face, a lack of knowledge and ability to communicate about what is going on in the neighborhood and even in the city. In this high-tech world, we have so much information available at our fingertips that it's ironic that we seem to know less about what's going on around the block or up the street. You know, when I was growing up, there was a daily ritual at the Reardon house. Take a look at the screen there. So when we got up in the morning, out on the porch, do you remember this? Every day, the Kansas City Times. And then at night, you know, at our doorstep was the Kansas City Star. And, you know, we were good KCK residents, so we also got the Kansas City Kansan at night, too. Remember this 7 days a week, every day. Fast forward to today. The world has changed. The Wyandotte Daily News, the Kansas City Kansan website, and the Kansas City Star provide a valuable service to our community. However, more can and must be done to share information in this high-tech world. As you know, communications and information sharing is critical to civic participation. Getting factual and timely information is imperative to good government and serving the needs of our residents. So we've set up a table here at the speech. It's kind of as you exit now. And if you haven't already, we're going to ask you to step by because we can sign you up for our UG e-News, a weekly electronic newsletter that we send out by email. Now, we have over 3,500 subscribers today, but that certainly is not nearly enough for our community. So if you aren't a subscriber, you can plug your email address into the computer right now, and we'll get you onto that list. In fact, the UG is also, we're now in social media too, and our young people are helping us with this, quite frankly. We have a Facebook page, Twitter, and a YouTube channel, all available to the public. And we can sign you up for that activity today as well. And we've redesigned our internet page to make it more customer-friendly, easier to navigate, and packed full of relevant information. In fact, our web page was recently awarded top grades for government transparency. But more needs to be done. So I'm calling today for our UG staff and our commission as well to make a commitment to allocate more dollars to public information, which will allow us to enhance our public access channel with more programming and give us the ability to distribute information to our residents more frequently in print and other forms of media. In times of rising fuel costs, when many of our citizens use transit to get to work and essential services, the UG is taking progressive steps to have a transit system that answers the needs of the community. We announced our Rapid Bus project last year, and I am pleased to tell you today that the State Avenue Connects project is underway. This $11 million federally funded project will bring bus rapid transit infrastructure to State Avenue with new bus stations on the route that will include shelters, real-time signage, and lighting. It will cut total travel time from downtown to Village West nearly in half. The project includes 2 new transit centers that will be under construction this year. One will be located at 7th and Minnesota Avenue. That's a depiction on the screen now, allowing great connections to buses throughout the city and improving our downtown streetscape. Our major transit center will be at the former Indian Springs site. This transit center will include an office building for our Area Agency on Aging program, our Midtown Police Patrol Division, and a community room. This transit center will begin the transformation of the Indian Springs site, and we will be moving forward with redevelopment of the entire site this year. Upon completion, absolutely. Upon completion in 2013, This project will be the most significant investment in public transit in Wyandotte County since the inception of, remember the bus, since the inception of the bus in the 1970s. As we emerge from this nearly all-encompassing recession, the picture for our UG budget is getting better, but still difficult. Year over year, we saw the 2011 revenue numbers begin to stabilize. There was a slight increase in property tax revenue from 2010 when we bottomed out, but the fact remains, even with the upward adjustment of our mill levy rate, most taxpayers are still paying the UG less this year in property tax than in 2007. Sales tax revenue for 2011 was also somewhat encouraging, as we saw a 5.7% increase. But we continue to deal with the effects of the recession, coupled with the Kansas legislature's elimination of our local machinery and equipment tax, and the state of Kansas then abandoning its commitment to help make up for the losses. The result is several millions of dollars in revenue eliminated from our budget each and every year. There still is plenty of uncertainty in our economy. You all know that. But we are hopeful that 2012 will continue a positive trend for us locally. As a result of the tough decisions by a majority of our commission during our 2012 budget, we have solidified our UG finances and have begun to restore our fund balance. In fact, we finished 2011 with fund balance in excess of $4.5 million, bringing us back from a fund balance low of $1.8 million in 2010. And our difficult but prudent financial decisions lead us to project fund balance to increase to about $6 million in 2012, moving us in the right direction. This sound financial decision-making has also allowed us to retain our AA credit ratings. In our latest reviews by Moody's and S&P, they both cited our sound financial decisions as a critical factor in maintaining the AA rating. These good ratings save our taxpayers millions of dollars as we are able to obtain lower interest rates. You know, tough decisions still remain, and sacrifice throughout the organization will still occur. This is nothing new, as over the course of the last several years we have drastically cut our budgets in a multitude of ways. Most notably, however, by significantly reducing our workforce by nearly 200 positions. We've instituted furlough days for many of our employees, and we've frozen salaries too. In fact, for many of our UG employees, 2012 will mark the 4th year in a row that there's been no salary increase at all. That is on top of them working in departments where manpower is short and the work demands are increasing. For some time now, our UG employees have been doing more with less. Citizens should expect efficiency from government, and we should expect solid government customer service. But cutting budgets alone will not address the issue. Efficiency is the key to improvement, but so too is a workforce that is motivated and given a chance to succeed. As we work through our budget sessions this summer, I believe we must reward our good employees that day in, day out get the job done for us and our community. We must also refocus on customer service and the ability to efficiently work on behalf of our citizens. And that focus on efficiency must include maximizing resources and eliminating duplication. I've advocated for our government to move forward with functional integration of key departments of the UG and BPU where there's significant overlap. This should not be allowed to flounder. I expect our administration to move forward with our efforts in shared IT services this year, and we must look at other opportunities for this kind of functional integration. You know, I'm proud to report that we have made good on our commitment to more aggressively collect delinquent taxes from those taxpayers who can pay but refuse to do so. 2011 marked the first full year that we took advantage of the state tax set-off program. This program allows us to register a delinquent taxpayer with the state, and if and when the state owes money to the taxpayer, the Wyandotte County taxes get paid first, before money goes to the individual. As a result of 1 year of this program, we've collected nearly $300,000 in delinquent tax payments. And while this doesn't solve our delinquent tax problem, It is getting taxpayers to pay far in advance of the 3 years we have to wait to put that property in a tax sale, and it shows we are serious about collecting taxes from those who are not paying. Our police department and sheriff's department, in cooperation with our neighborhood groups, continue to make positive impacts on crime. We have a chart here. 2011 showed a slight increase in overall crime. But as the chart indicates, even with the slight uptick, 2011 marked the 4th year in a row that we reported less than 1,000 violent crimes. In fact, the number of violent crimes in KCK has dropped 65% since its high in 1991. That's progress. But we can't take anything for granted. And I'm concerned that we are seeing some increase in crime. So I call on all of us, our neighborhood groups, and our police department and sheriff's department, to recommit ourselves to the partnerships that have led to our long-term success in reducing crime. We must work together to sustain these efforts. And that will require the UG continuing to support our public safety operations and ensuring that we are effective and efficient in those operations. Likewise, our fire and EMS departments continue to perform a superior service for our citizens. Our fire EMS department responded to a record 25,744 calls for service. Our response times averaged 3 minutes, 41 seconds, still one of the lowest response times in the metro area. And as the data proves, that's right. And as the data proves, quick response times with skilled personnel saves lives. That means that we have to plan for our future and ensure that these quick response times occur throughout our community. I'm calling for the UG to move forward with a comprehensive look at new and improved fire facilities and equipment that will ensure quick response times, professional service, and greater efficiency. Our development agreement with Hollywood Casino calls for $100,000 per year to be contributed to our parks and recreation efforts. Now, I can tell you, we could easily use that money to help with our operating budget every year. However, I believe we need to show tangible benefits to our parks with these funds. So today, I'm calling for these funds to be used to form a special parks redevelopment program. The program would provide $25,000 grants to 4 parks each year. Neighborhood groups and our NBRs, many of you are sitting in this room right now, would help us select the parks because you know best what neighborhood parks need the most attention. Working with our Parks Board and Department, you would help us develop a redevelopment plan for the park, articulate the neighborhood need, and show some ongoing commitment to the park improvement. This program will help with neighborhood stabilization as well as support our efforts for a healthier community. And I urge the Commission to work on and consider this plan as part of our 2013 budget. As I said earlier, nearly every success we can point to has a solid partnership behind it. And you know, that doesn't end with the UG. Certainly, part of our casino success can be attributed to the partnership formed between the unified government, Bonner Springs, and Edwardsville. This partnership resulted in an historic interlocal agreement that allowed us to form a joint standard of quality for the casino, regardless of where it was built. And it also ensured that every city in the county would benefit from a portion of that casino revenue, even if the casino was not located in that city. It helped solidify the kind of positive working relationship amongst us that will move the entire county forward. I want to recognize Mayor Clausy Smith of Bonner Springs and Mayor John McTaggart of Edwardsville. I want to ask them to stand, if they would, and recognize them for their vision and leadership. Our communities are working better together today than ever, ensuring that we are all successful. And you know, those partnerships are critical beyond Wyandotte County as well. Increasingly, it's obvious that our success as a county is tied to success of the region. None of us stands as an island alone. In fact, our citizens and businesses interact and dwell in this regional economy each and every day. With us today is Mayor Sly James of Kansas City, Missouri. Sly, could you stand up as well? You all know he's one of our strongest community regional partners. And both of us believe passionately in our communities that we serve, as well as the importance of our communities working together for our mutual benefit. The Google Fiber project provided us a perfect platform to create a bi-state team to focus on innovation across both cities and begin to explore regional opportunities that benefit all of our citizens. Our selection as the first city in the country to be part of the Google Fiber project is a significant statement about the progress of our community and the belief in its future. Over 1,000 cities applied for this opportunity because of the understanding that ultra-high-speed connectivity is the type of infrastructure that will be important to the future. Kansas City, Kansas, and Kansas City, Missouri will have this opportunity beginning later this year. And no one can predict precisely where this technology infrastructure will take us, but our cities and our citizens will be the beneficiaries. You know, the future of Wyandotte County is indeed bright. The map on the screen now depicts that progress, with the public and private investments being made all over our county, from the northeast to Rosedale, Turner to Midtown, Armadale to Argentine, Leavenworth Road to County Line Road, K7 to downtown. We're moving forward together, not apart. We have been on a progressive path, one that has taken us from a reputation of political infighting and parochialism to today, as we are more often looked at as a progressive, business-friendly, enterprising community that seeks to form partnerships with those that want to move forward. A city and county that stands for opportunity and innovation. A community that knows how to work together to get the job done. Our course remains challenging, and at times it's going to be difficult, but it is the dedication of so many of you in this room today, in this collective effort, that will ensure our bold future and success. And I look forward to working with each and every one of you for our collective success this year. Thank you so much for coming out to the lunch today, and let's work together in 2012 for the future of Wyandotte County and Kansas City, Kansas. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again. I appreciate it.